I used to work the night shift at a small private hospital on the outskirts of Seattle. Not the ER, not the ICU, just a quiet administrative post. I answered calls, filled out paperwork, kept an eye on the monitors. Officially, I was the night attendant, but in my mind, I called myself something else, the keeper of silence. Because silence was my truest companion. The first few weeks were rough. My body resisted. Broken sleep patterns, a dry mouth, a brain sinking into its own thoughts. But eventually came a strange acceptance. I learned to sleep by day, eat at night, stay quiet for hours. During that first month, I even wrote down on scraps of paper the times when something happened, a call, footsteps in the hall, just to prove to myself that time was still moving. Then I stopped. Fatigue rolled in slowly, like a tide. Shifts blurred together. More and more, I just sat in silence. No movement, no sound, no thoughts. The first time she appeared, it was exactly 3 a.m. I remember because I was staring at the surveillance monitors. The cameras picked up even the slightest motion. At first, I thought it was a glitch, a gray silhouette in the corner of the break room where an old couch sat. But then another camera caught it too. A figure, perfectly still, staring at the wall. I walked there without my phone, without a flashlight, just through the hollow corridors, my footsteps echoing against the emptiness. The room was empty. The couch was the same as always, stained, worn, ordinary. I checked every corner. Nothing. When I returned to my station, the monitor showed only emptiness. The next night, she came back, again at 3 a.m., sitting in the same spot, unmoving. The camera never focused clearly on her. The blur itself felt oppressive, as if she didn't fully belong in this dimension. Not flesh, just form. I didn't go to check anymore. I only watched. Time melted on the screen. Seconds stretched into minutes, minutes into something lifeless. The gray shape pulsed, as if her heartbeat was in sync with the rhythm of the surveillance feed. Each night she sat closer, first at the edge of the couch, then the middle, then right beside the spot where I usually drink my coffee. I never saw her face, but I felt her gaze, silent, steady, as heavy as the darkness outside the windows. My chest tightened. My muscles locked in spasms, as if my body knew before my mind. She's here. I began to lose my grip on time. I didn't know what day it was, couldn't remember my last conversation. Even when people spoke to me, their words felt distant, foreign. My movements became mechanical, repeated in the same order every night, pressing keys, sorting papers, walking the same routes. Objects, lights, even clocks lost their meaning. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just sat, watched the screens, waited. Then came the night that changed everything. I entered the break room, and she was already sitting in my spot, exactly the way I usually sat, leaning forward, elbows on knees. Her face still blurred, but her outline was familiar, too familiar. I froze. My pulse thundered in my ears. Slowly, she turned her head toward me, and I understood. I wasn't looking at a reflection, not at a resemblance. I was looking at myself, my posture, my features, even my tangled hair. She stared through me, her eyes lifeless, but not empty. They held a silence deeper than death. I ran. I don't remember how. Corridors dissolved into darkness. Walls closed in. Doors disappeared. I ran and ran until I woke. At home. In bed. Morning sunlight on the windows. 8 a.m. My phone said I hadn't left my apartment in 3 weeks. No calls answered, no posts online. The hospital probably forgotten me. On the kitchen table, rotting food, supermarket flyers, a calendar frozen in July. I stood in the kitchen staring at my reflection in the fridge door. I looked like her, the one on the couch, dead but alive. And then I wondered, maybe I never worked at the hospital at all. Maybe the night shift was just imagination. Maybe 3 a.m. was just the beginning of something else. But then I noticed the hospital badge on my wrist. My name engraved on it. Scratched, worn, but real. I went back. In daylight. The halls were familiar, but bright. The people, strangers, new staff at reception, they didn't know me, didn't recognize me. The registry claimed I never worked there, that my name wasn't in their files, that the night shift itself had been shut down months ago. I walked to the break room. Empty. No couch, just tables with brochures. New tiles. I touched the wall where she used to sit. Cold. Hollow. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in silence. At 3 a.m., I felt her again. Not behind me. Not in the room. Inside me. I am her. She is me. The part I lost between shifts, between hours, between dreams. And now she wants to take over. Since then, I no longer live by time. I exist in its leftovers, in the shadows of 3 a.m. Every night, I sit on the couch. Mine or hers. I don't know anymore. And I wait. Maybe one day someone else will walk into that room and see me, and then I'll vanish again.